What's happening, guys? James Milan here with MMOHuts.com, and one particularly cool thing that I got to do while I was at PAX East a couple of weeks ago was to throw trucks with my mind, both literally but also virtually. This is a new game being developed by Crooked Tree Studios that uses the MindWave headsets from NeuroSky that have two sensors that pick up on both alpha and beta waves that your brain produces. See, the brain produces tiny electrical signals when you're in a specific mental state. Neurons fire brainwave patterns, and this headset's able to pick up on those and use them accordingly to operate the software. This particular game, like I said before, uses the alpha and beta waves that your brain produces, and those are associated with relaxation and meditation, as well as focus and attention. Now, if you're not following along with what I'm saying here, the game basically uses the Force to operate. However, you do need quite a few metachlorians in order to throw a truck. Anyway, the game got a lot of attention at PAX. It was really fun when I got to try it out there as well as here, and I figured I'd just show you guys some of the new technology going into games. Alright, so let's take a look at how the game works with the headset. So you'll notice these 2 meters in the middle here. The one on the right, the red one, has to do with your level of mental focus, and the one on the left has to do with your mental relaxation. And even though these two things may be contradicting, you can learn to control either one how you want to, although doing so may not have you focusing on the game itself, but rather than other things. Like, for example, with the mental focus here, it actually helps me to think about the object that I'm trying to do something with, or the actual level itself. You notice I'm looking at the level itself, and I can kind of manipulate it accordingly. If I focus on this barrel here, I can get the level to rise. Notice the red level here. And like I said, the blue level is relaxation. So if I take a deep breath, like so, I can relax and begin to focus on that particular level. Now, you'll notice that the game has multiple skills. So the first skill we've got here is push. So I can actually go ahead and try to push this barrel, and it pushes it. The barrel is actually not that heavy, so it's pretty easy to push. And this particular skill is associated with the mental focus, so the red. You'll notice the reticule in the center is red, so it's actually going to use that particular mental power to operate. Now, if I switch to my second skill, which is pull, you'll notice that that uses my relaxation, and I can pull objects towards me. Now, I gotta be careful, because if I pull objects towards me, I can actually hurt myself, even though it's a feather. All the objects in the game actually hurt you, because the game is competitive in PvP. You'll notice that that's one of the objectives, is to try to kill the other person with objects, whether that be squish them with it, or push objects into them, or whatever it may be. Alright, so the cool one is lift. We've got lift here. Now, it is a little difficult to lift big objects. You have to have a lot of mental focus and a lot of relaxation in order to do both. So this one's primarily focused on relaxation, so I can easily lift this piñata, no problem. And that thing is out of there. But when I try to lift something like this right here, it takes, oh, I went to push. This right here, it's a little bit harder to lift if I'm not relaxed. Let's see here, see if I can relax and actually lift this. I gotta focus on the blue level. Whoa, I'm not doing too good. Take a deep breath. And there it goes. There it goes. And see, that's how you lift an object, with your mind. You get to where you're throwing trucks in no time. Alright, so you've got your push, you've got your pull, you've got your hold. That's the, this is a good one if you're in a fight and somebody's actually pushing objects towards you or pulling objects toward you, and you want to stop that object from you know, hitting you or hurting you. So, for example, we can, let's see, let's lift this one here, and then I'm going to hold it. Oh, lift it, oh, toast came out of it. That's funny. And more toast. Lots of toast. Alright, let's lift something easier to lift. Okay, a barrel. Here you go. For example, I can lift this, and then I can switch to hold, and somewhat hold it in the air. Oh, whoa, I got a little close to that barrel. So that can be easier if somebody's throwing something at you. It's easier to stop the object or hold the object versus trying to push it back away from you, because you have to get that momentum going again. This hold basically stops the momentum from happening. So the next skill is super jump. Now this one is actually really cool too. So the normal jump, let's show you what that is. That's about all you get out of the normal jump. The super jump, however, you have to have mental focus on this one. Let's see if I can focus on an object here and build that up, and then you'll notice, come on, focus. There it goes. I can start jumping a little higher as I focus harder. Focus. Oh. There it goes. That's about all I can get out of it. If you haven't noticed, guys, I'm a little under the weather, so my allergies are probably impeding my brain function. But yeah, that's how the super jump works. And the next one is slow fall. So you can actually super jump and then slow fall, and you can get a nice little glide going. Let's see if I can show you that. It's a little difficult to pull off since I have to have the mental focus in order to do that. It's hard to focus on anything with allergies. Definitely don't want to be playing this game with allergies. I think it helps. See, I'm jumping a little higher each time. Focus. A little higher. Alright, well, so that's not working right now. But anyway, so you can actually chain your skills together. So if I want to push an object and then pull that object back, I can do that, and then I can, whoa, stop, hold that object, keep it from moving, lift it, and then push it again. So you can get some combos going, which is pretty interesting. It makes things really fun in game. Now, let's talk about the game modes for a second. So the primary game mode is squash match, or team squash match, which is pretty much just how it sounds. You and your team are trying to use objects to squish other players. And like I mentioned before, every object in the game will hurt you if it has any sort of momentum behind it, even if you applied the momentum, even if it's a giant feather. The game is based off the Unreal Tournament engine, so everything in the game has physics as well as a unique mass. So some items won't hurt you as bad as others, and some items take more than just you in order to manipulate them. For example, it takes the entire team focused really hard in order to do this. Another game mode is King of the Hill. Now this one is set up so that a spot considered the hill spawns randomly for about 2 minutes, then changes randomly to a new location. The players are split up into 2 teams, and each team has to keep the opposing team out of the circle here in order to keep them from gaining points. But at the same time, you've got to try and get points for your team. So one strategy might be to barricade the point with objects, so basically nobody can get into it, or just plain threaten them with whatever's lying around. Oh, and I didn't mention this before, but there were actually 8 powers in all. I left off showing you guys slow fall, but one of the other ones is force field that you can see some of the guys here using. This one keeps objects of decent sizes from dealing damage to you, so and it depends on your relaxation. So the more your blue level is high, the stronger your shield is. It's good to use this if you're low on health, but you need to stick around inside the hill to get points for your team. If you find yourself low on health, you can also look around for the cake in a bubble that will get you back in the game, and that's no lie. The next game mode, which is definitely my favorite, is Capture the Fridge, which is a take on Capture the Flag, of course. The difference being is that you've got to use your powers to get this refrigerator back to your team's spawn point, kind of like a giant soccer ball or something, and that you move with your mind. Now, there are plenty of tactics to use here. For example, if you feel that it's basically a lost cause, that the fridge is pretty much in one base or the other already, you can hang out ready to help your teammates at its spawn point in this particular map anyway. This game mode also really takes advantage of a game mechanic that the developers call the power of wills. When 2 or more players are putting powers into an object, the forces amplify and can get out of control. You can see a cloudy effect around the object, and if it gets out of control, then that object can be tossed completely across the map. It's actually a really cool concept. It's kind of like a fight between Yoda and Palpatine, happening all the time. So there's one last power I haven't shown you guys, and that's invisibility. If you switch to this power, you can become unseen by other players based on how mentally focused you are. If you're 3/4 of the way, you become sort of transparent, you bend the light, kind of like Predator, and if you're at 100%, you become completely invisible. And it's actually really cool and fun to be able to do that by using your brainwaves. And a lot of these other powers are going to be good for some of the new stuff that the developers plan for in the future. Like right now, they're working on a new game mode that is supposed to be co-op against AI bots that use guns against you. Another map, better physics in objects as well as breakable objects, so you can break an object and use the individual pieces to throw back at your enemy. So the game is still in early development. It made it through its Kickstarter and is nominated for Steam Greenlight. But the cool thing here is that these guys at Crooked Tree Studios are going beyond the mouse and keyboard with controllers that use your brainwaves. So put this technology with Oculus Rift and you're one step closer to Nerve Gear and Sword Art Online. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Check the link in the description below to the game profile at MMOHuts.com for more information about throw trucks and the technology behind it. And until next time, guys, that's going to be it for me. I'm James Blonde. See you out there, gamers.